89. And in today's live stream, we're just continue where we left off. Last night, we did get a fair bit of stuff done. I think, we did 2 streams last night. I don't necessarily plan on doing multiple streams tonight. I'm going to try and get done a good amount of stuff within one stream. That's kind of the goal. So, last night was a very productive stream. We got a lot of stuff done. So I have pretty much got all the sets lined up for these shelves. So tonight we're focusing on sorting out some of this stuff. Sorting out some stuff here. I got the whole gaming thing all sorted out. Here. So that works out nicely, having all of that done. So yeah, we're really getting somewhere. But it's the most part is the prequel stuff needs sorted out. There'll be other small things. So yeah, we'll just see where it goes in terms of seeing what we can manage to get done. But there's still like the odd little bit thing here or there that I need to sort out that's bugging or really annoying me. Like I got to get rid of these like minifig case boxes and stuff like that. Got a bag of things that I'm just trying to get rid of as well. So that's pretty much what tonight's stream will be, is just continuing. We have been making progress rapidly over the last couple of days. It doesn't help it throughout the period of time that I've been prepping for this room tour that I've changed these shelves up so many times. That is ridiculous. But yeah. No fooling around, no starting the stream off, doing other things. I just want to get into it and get someone with it. As far as live streams for the rest of the week go, doing them on weekdays is, given the time that I arrive home at night, it's kinda not doable, but it kinda is. I just need to figure that out and see where that goes. But I'm hoping to figure out the best way to do that within the next few days. Again, it's just trying to make things work can be difficult at the best of times. So yeah, right. Trying to figure out where I want to start, because also, like I said, there's a few things I am aiming to have done. I don't need to go nuts organising silly stuff, at least not right now. I'm kind of saving that a few streams from now. Like this stream, I'd rather be a bit more Lego focused stuff that we're going to get done. So, just got to line up this controller here. But yeah, I'm going to adjust the camera angle so we can see what we're working on. We're working on the shelving here, and we're just going to get started into it. So we'll start with we'll just take all the sets off that are on these remaining shelves and organise them that way, just by what movie they're meant to go into. And who knows, I might even get into doing minifigures, hey there, into the stream. I'm not guaranteeing it, but I would at very least like to get close to doing that. Gonna fix this part back onto the Tantive. So the latest I'm willing to let this stream go to might just be like maybe 11 at night, 12ish. I've not decided quite how far I want to go with this one yet. That more or less just remains to be seen. We'll start taking anything and everything off of the shelf. There we go. That's making progress. Got some cool sets on these shelves. Yeah, I'm great. How are you? Take this guy off. So yeah, we're going to be laying out these shelves, just getting them sorted and where we want them to be. Like I said, I'm looking for a stream to have a bit of length to it, because there's that much stuff I got to get done. Plus, I know that the longer ones do better, and people seem to prefer these. Like, granted, my half-an-hour ones do alright, but these are the more popular ones where they go beyond that. Do you know what? I give you credit. You're the very first person to actually comment that on one of these streams. That's actually quite funny. That is funny. I do like that. We're back in a moment. I'm going to go see what my dogs are barking for. What? Alright. Alright. Alright, I'm back. But hopefully we can get these sorted out. Maybe a few additional things that I'd be meaning to get done. That'd be great. Some interesting comments we got here. That's all I'm going to say on that matter. Interesting. But yeah, let's get continuing on. ATTE from a couple of years back. Got the ATAP from 2008. Got to remove that from the shelf. That would be the most recent set I've built. One of my favourite ones I've built this year. Because if you're, unless you're new to the channel, if you've been watching a while, you'll know that I've not bought all that many sets this year. My Lego purchases this year have been like very tame by what I normally buy. Normally I buy idiotic amounts. That's not been the case this year. By this time last year, I had bought, what, 3 UCS sets. And that's just like a small part of the craziness that I ended up purchasing. Oh, it's that guy. He's here for more clout as usual. No, he's just here to use SpongeBob quotes. God damn it, stop using your on-fire brain cell. It's alright. If this wasn't a YouTube live stream, we could use sentence enhancers. Right, I'm going to start setting this up. So, like I said, this is all the Revenge of the Sith stuff on this shelf. See, I did like having it by faction, but I think just for the way that it's going to work for... That's what I'm looking for. For the way that it'll work in terms of the room tour, I'd rather it was by movie, because people always ask me what movie I've got the most stuff from, so this way it kind of makes it a bit more obvious for people asking that question, because people will ask that question. Right, is that all? Now the invisible hand is back here, isn't it? Right. Oh wait, I think I figured out the perfect Revenge of the Sith shelf setup. That looks great, actually. So that's the cannon you get with the turbo tank. That's the Vader transformation. I'll put that there. Got the AT-RT from that. I'm going to read your comment in a minute. I'm just trying to not stop every 2 seconds and get this done. That is the Obi-Wan versus Vader. It's one of the parts of that set. Actually, I'm hoping other parts landed here on the bed. Otherwise, I have some things to look for. Yeah, I'll need to fix that in a moment. Right, I have something that I'm now going to have to look for, so that's fun. It's an easy enough bit that I could just do it out of spare parts, but I'd rather not have to do that. Or go through my parts to find bits like that. That is a different type of annoying. Give me a moment. Yeah, I'm going to have to look around for that. It's a little light piece for the pod that they end up fighting on at the very end of their fight. So I'm going to have to keep an eye out for that. I want to fix one of the lights back on this X-Wing and end up breaking it further in the process. Right, let's see what's being said here. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, makes sense. Right. So I'm curious to know if that went on the floor. Now it is a dark color carpet, so if I'm ever looking for something that I slightly suspect has went to the floor, I just employ this torch. It's the best way to do this. Fair, I could use that logic on the bed as well. Just one of these things I don't get to find right now, and then I find it as I'm going to bed later or something, and it ends up really pissing me off. Get the Bogger there. My Revenge of the Sith shelf is probably my best looking out of my prequel era shelves, because it's the one that is the most full. Yes, let there be light and let you be blinded. That's not aimed at all the audience members, just specifically him. It's called special treatment or just singling him out. I don't know which one I'm going with today. Unfortunately, it does not appear that that part has made its way to the floor after extensive searching. However, there is parts sitting on here, so I do still have there to check. But that has slightly annoyed me that I can't find that right now. I'll show you what I'm on about. Yeah, it's definitely not there. So this is part of the 2012 Anakin versus Obi-Wan set. And it's that platform that at the very end of the duel they're both on. You can see that clip right there that my finger's touching. It's meant to be a pole with a little light that goes on that. I don't seem to be able to see that anywhere. I can always get it from the partsman, but it annoys me that I can't find it. So what else do I have that's Revenge of the Sith? Grievous's wheel bike. Who knows, the part may or may not turn up, like, as we do this. Right, got the wheel bike for Grievous. Perfect. Right. Gonna take all these other sets out. Again, it could just be on another shelf. Because I'm sure it's fallen off more than once, and I think I may have just put the part. Yeah, right, we'll put the Gungan sub down below here, because that's where that needs to be anyway. Let me see. Right, little platforms for the pod racers. We'll do those now. It's a good thing I bought the pod racers last year. Otherwise, my Phantom Menace shelf would literally just be the Gungan sub from 2012, because that's like the main other one I've got from that movie. I do have like other things, like I have that Naboo speeder from 2000, but that's about it. The Phantom Menace does have some good sets. I just haven't picked some of them up yet. You'll find that if you're new here, you'll find that most of my purchases end up being from episodes 4, 5, and 6. But I saw those movies first, and that is my favorite era of Star Wars. I do like the prequels. I do own a lot of the Clone Wars stuff. But as far as movies go, it's still going to be the original trilogy. I have one more look with a torch. I'm not too worried. If I don't find it right now, it's bound to turn up. It's one of those kind of pieces that randomly does this sometimes, so yeah. I'll come read your comment in a moment. But yeah, I definitely need to pick up some more prequel era sets, which I'm probably what I'll do next year. This year, my purchasing's mainly been focused at buying custom minifigures for various projects I'm working on that I cannot buy real figures to fill out because it wouldn't make sense. Well, to be fair, I have bought a few real figures for it, but this, I think at the end of last year, I ticked off the vast majority of the real figures I was needing. One thing about IKEA eyebars is cleaning them can be slightly annoying. Right. Attack of the Clones. Again, not the movie I have the most things from, but it's a bit more populated than The Phantom Menace. See, that's the thing, right? Revenge of the Sith, I think, had the most sets come out for it, out of the prequels. But even those sets, it has the most variation of things you can get. Whereas with the other two movies of the prequels, rarely ever do they release something from those movies that they haven't already. It always ends up being the same general kind of stuff. With those movies, they don't like to release things they haven't done before. It's very like take Attack of the Clones. It's mostly been Obi-Wan starfighters. Okay, granted, we've got a Jango Fett Slave 1 for the first time in years, but that's not really my point. Apart from that bit that's missing that is annoying the hell out of me, that's sorted. That's actually a good question. I have most of them. With the exception of some of the more modern ones, I have most of the Obi-Wan Kenobis. Off the top of my head, I'm going to try and go oldest to newest. So, I don't have any of the original Phantom Menace ones, so I can cut that off. I have the 2002 without the headset version. I have two out of the three versions from 2005. I've got his Clone Wars variant. I've got his Old Man variant. I'll show you some of the ones that are handy. How about that? Like, here's some of the ones that are out on my shelves right now. So we've got this one from 05 on the Boga. Apparently I just spilled something. Great. I'll have to deal with that. Sorry about that. I've got that one there from 2025 on display. I've got... stand on the beanbag here. I've got this Old Man Obi-Wan from 2007. I've got Clone Wars Obi-Wan there from 2008. I do have his slightly updated one that came out a little while after that. Okay, there'll be a few Obi-Wans on this stand here, but keep in mind, some of these are not official. Like, this Obi-Wan Kenobi here is not official. That is a custom. That one there's a custom. That one there's an official minifigure. That one there's a custom. And of course, the Ghost is a custom. Again, I do have more Obi-Wans, but they're not on display at the moment. Like, I've got the 2012 Obi-Wan for the Anakin's Interceptor. I've got the 2013 Clone Wars Obi-Wan. I've got the 2014 Old Man Obi-Wan. In fact, I might have some in this drawer here. This is the stuff that typically isn't out on my display, really at all. Right, there's nothing there, but I do have, like, a lot of Obi-Wans. He's a minifigure that appears a lot to the point where I'm going to have a few. Trying what other ones I might have. I've got the 2004 Mos Eisley Cantina version. I've got the 2008 cloaked Obi-Wan with the hood over, with no pupils. And I've got the 2011 version with pupils. I've also got... I'm looking at my sets, trying to figure out which ones I also own. Like, what ones come from sets. I've got the 2010 old Obi-Wan that comes with that. I've got the 2022 Obi-Wan that comes in the Starfighter down there. I've also got his 2011 hooded Padawan version and his 2012 non-hooded version. Those are the ones off the top of my head that I know I have. I probably have other ones. Obi-Wan's one of those characters that I do have most of. There, I hope that answers your question. I have a lot of them. I would show you. In fact, I might just send you a picture later since it's you. For context, I know how outside of this platform. Let's see. We've got a bunch of random pieces here that need to be assorted. So that cart is from Return of the Jedi. We can put that up there. This is a piece of the Hoth Echo base, so that's going to go in there. This is also a piece of the Echo base that needs to be put back on. Here are some minifigures. So these, since they're here, I will put them on stuff. Got a Hoth Rebel, and we've got a Luke Skywalker from episode 4 there. As well as we have enough Endor Captain Rex. Adios, yes, that's him saying goodbye. He doesn't speak normal words. Endor Rex can just be running across that. There we go. I've added some of the very few figures that are currently on the shelf. We may add more tonight. I don't know. I'm still up for doing some of that. These parts, they're going to sit here for now until I get them dealt with. This crate actually goes in the back of this cart. But, yeah, I'm debating if we're going to do minifigures as part of this stream or not. I have a few things here I need to fix. So I've got this Endor Scout on a speeder bike. That will have to go over here. And Return of the Jedi. That's sorted. That's good. Gotta deal with this. I'm just gonna put it up with the video game stuff just now. That is the Lego Pharaoh's Quest. That's one of the many vehicles from that theme. It's just gonna, it can be driving out from behind that. We've got Darth Malgus here. Now, Malgus, one of my favorite minifigures, he is gonna go up here. because I have, granted, you have to bend down a bit. But he's on top of one of the older. I only have the one set from this theme. No, wait, I have the battle pack somewhere, but I've got Malgus is chilling up there on top of these cases. I do plan to put more stuff in this case, like the Shadow Earth Trooper and that. I just haven't dug those particular figures out yet to do that with them. So yeah, we'll do that then. We'll organise the small things that need doing that I've been avoiding doing the last few days that we've been doing this. Like, I could just jump right on right now and do the Lego, but I think it would make a bit more sense just to get this done. My watch, I'm going to put that back in a drawer. I don't actually wear that watch, but I came across it as I was sorting some things. We're going to fix this. Is that set from 2000 with the display cards. I'm just going to get that fixed just now. Get the Boba Fett card back in, but we're just sorting out the collection, getting some things where we want them to be, and working on the room as a whole, because we're still working on having the place look good. I've been at this for quite a while. There's the card. Well enough looks card for this set has Palpatine on the back. Some of those weird facts. I don't know why they did it that way, but it does look interesting. Right, this set is going to go... I mean, I could have it here since it is technically a Return of the Jedi base. Do you know what? I will. It's a cool set. I'll show it up close. This set here from the year 2000. Back when Lego Star Wars briefly did many minifig packs before getting allegedly very in trouble for doing so. I've got to put this plant piece back on. The Battle of Endor, which I have up the back of there. It's a cool set. I have it's actually one of the boxes I hung up because it's got a cool box. It's the oldest box in my collection as well. I have been planning. I bought this back in December. I'm gonna fix Luke's cape here. I've been meaning to go and buy the other three. The Battle Droid pack, the Chewbacca with the 2 Scout Troopers. Another one was Maul, Vader, and Palpatine. The Battle Droid one and the Wookiee with the Battle Droid 1 and Chewbacca with the Scout Troopers appears on eBay sealed for like really cheap quite a lot of the time. But the next one I want to buy, and also I'll connect them all up. It's the one where you got... Hey, how's it going? It's the one where you got Vader, Palpatine, and Maul. That one rarely ever appears for sale in my country. It always appears for sale in France, weirdly enough. Maybe... But it's sealed, and that's the one that seems to be worth the money sealed, because something about like the Palpatine is exclusive within that set, or some reasoning like that. I'm not entirely sure. Like why that one's the one that ended up being worth the money. So maybe I need to figure that one out. But yeah, we're just gonna continue with the goal of get the place looking neat. Get everything kind of a bit more organised, and then we'll go forward more with the Lego. But like I said, I was planning for this stream to be one of the longer ones that I've done recently. But you know, I'm not going to top this one out at half an hour. I'd like to go for longer than that. You know, I prefer to do longer streams. One sec, I'll read your comment. What are you saying? You turned it into a UT80. I have seen people doing that. It does look like an interesting build to do. It's one that I would probably end up doing. See, I told myself when that ATTE came out a few years ago, I would buy more than one for my clone army. And you know, I never did. I don't think I have actually bought another one of those. I for a while, I did debate, like, you know, the pros and cons of buying another one. But when I eventually came to the decision, I was gearing up to move house. I'm like, well, I don't want another one of these to have to take with me, so yeah, I didn't bother. Because, granted, my Lego collection's grown even bigger in those 2.5, well, just over 2 years, but it would, like, I don't want to imagine what it'll have to be like to move this current collection I've got. Because when I moved, right, last time, I only owned one UCS set, and it was the B-Wing, and that one's easy enough to transport. But I wonder what it'd be like having to transport that Falcon and Super Star Destroyer. One second, I'm just fixing my shoe here. One of the laces has come out the little metal bits. I'll just be a moment. There we go. Managed to get it back in properly. Right, there we go. I'm going to read those comments, what's being said. Or we're just doing Lego stuff, but yeah, I'm interested about your UT80. See if you want, you can post it in my community tab where I can see pictures of things that you guys have been doing. That would be great, because I'm actually curious to see what that looks like. I've seen many people make different mock-ups of it. So I do enjoy seeing like what do, because you know, in the space of the now that'll be 4 years next month that set has been out. People have made very many different variations of those mocks. It can be quite interesting. See, that's a question for me, right? So I own plenty of both. You can see up here, I've got the 2006 Star Destroyer as an Imperial shuttle. There's a Super Star Destroyer from 2011. I've got many different TIE fighters as well. I saw the original trilogy first, so I have a lot of love for the Empire. But see, when I got into Lego collecting, the big thing in the Lego collecting space, right, and you can see I've got quite a bit there. I've got 2 gunships, an attack shuttle, the YY. I've got most of the Clone Wars sets from the late 2000s. The Clone Wars sets, to me, are iconic in the army building space, right? But the Empire is nostalgic because, you know, seeing the original trilogy, that's the main villains in that. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about the 2011 Super Star Destroyer, talking about how it's an overrated set. I think it's one of the best UCS sets. The 2006 Star Destroyer I also think was the better Star Destroyer, just because you got every Star Destroyer that has came since, the nose section has been used to make the bridge. But that one has the bridge. So you got a hangar, Vader's meditation room, and a lot of other cool stuff in that set that future ones just don't do. And whenever I say that, I always get that same comment. But the new one comes with Cal Kestis. What? The Super Star Destroyer? I wouldn't call it an overrated set. It's one of the coolest looking display models. I think it's the one way that I'd say is overrated is people think it's a good set because of its minifigures. But this is one of those ones that still looks modern. But again, most sets from the early 2010s still look good. As people tell me that Cloud City is overrated, I slightly get the argument with Cloud City. But as far as sets go, this was one of those ones I wanted for years. I wouldn't say it's the best UCS set. The 2007 Ultimate Collector Series Millennium Falcon, which I find funny because when I was a kid, that was one of the most iconic Lego Star Wars sets you could get. But most people now, the younger collectors. See, I wonder if the new one will be as good or as iconic as that set ended up being. I tell you one category, I'm curious to see what changes, right? So, the minifigures that you get in this one, at the top, you got Bossk, Dengar, IG-88, Darth Vader, and Admiral Piet. Which that set had probably has one of the best selections. And keep that in mind, right? The specific versions in that set, some of them stayed exclusive. The Bossk was in a set the year before. He was in the 2010 Slave one. It was the same Darth Vader you could get in other sets from that era. But the IG, the Dengar, and Admiral Piet are perfect. Not to mention, I think we've only ever seen Admiral Piet once since then. I think we saw him in 2021 in Vader's Meditation Chamber. It was either Piet or it was a version of it was either Piet or it was what's the other guy called? It was either Piet or it was a version of General Veers, but in his officer outfit rather than his Hoth outfit. But I do think the 2011 Super Star Destroyer is like within the top 10 best UCS sets made. And I'll tell you one thing, it's one of the most structurally sound ones to move. But I'm going to try and predict the minifigures we get in this new set. I've not looked at leaked images of this, but I'm probably not going to buy it since I've got the original one. I'm going to guess Darth Vader and a bunch of Imperial people, and I'm willing to bet the new one, the minifigures will not have arm printing or there'll be something wrong with them. Because given their recent pattern of screwing around. But personally, what I would do if I was Lego, I would put one or two of the figures from the UCS Death Star into it to kind of get those figures out to more people. Because the UCS Death Star that they come out with does get treated as a joke. Not saying it's a good or a bad set, but maybe it could do with some better representation. Like, to be treated as something better than what it is. But I get why the set's a laughingstock. Like, see, when I bought that Super Star Destroyer, I could have bought the Death Star because I had that within budget because I bought a sealed one of those. And, yeah. But it's one of those sets a lot of people seem to give dislike. The other set in my collection people seem to bring up in a way that seems to be controversial is the original Cloud City set. My biggest set is it's probably this actually. It is probably the original UCS Falcon is my biggest set. But Cloud City's the one people bring up when seem to have a lot of dislike. Oh yeah, there's an Ugnaught in there. Huh. Which is weird, because I think this is this set, it might not be good, it might be crazily expensive, but it's iconic. It's kind of weird how just about every Cloud City set that's ever come out, which is two big ones and you've got that small one, ends up being of idiotic amount of money. But I suppose whenever Lego decide they want to do something Empire Strikes Back related, they always go for Hoth. Or on some occasions, Dagobah. Let's see, what else? I'm going to put these through because rather these didn't sit through here for 2 days because I am guilty of that. But regardless of opinions, I still think that Star Destroyer is one of the best ones made. I tell you one that's underrated, right? One that I don't think it has got problems, but I still think this is one of the cooler ones because it's never been redone. 2012 UCS B-Wing. Right, I'm debating what our next move is. What else do I still need to deal with and sort? So actually there's some stuff down here I could probably do with getting fit. See, I'm trying to think of all the other nonsense I need to do before I dare go into the Lego. Like, it's one of those things, it's like, if I start with the Lego, I'll only focus on that, and there's other things I should do. So we're prepping for that big room tour video that I've got coming out. So, you know, I'd rather focus some attention to that. Because, like I said, that will be the biggest video I make this year. Because a lot of the bigger videos that I planned on making, unfortunately, like the Clone Army, the only reason I didn't do any army videos this year, and it's normally something that I do. The reason that no army videos got made this year was really just because I've not went out my way to grow any of the armies as much as you would think. Like, in terms of vehicles, I think the main, like, they did grow vehicle wise, but I didn't go buying mass battle packs like I usually do. I didn't go and go nuts with like the cheap eBay deals that you can get. I didn't do any of that stuff. I ended up just solely focusing on certain things. It's like the first half of the last year, right? So the first half of this year, I'm trying to go back. So after May last year when the Clone Army filmed, I ended up spending money. Like, I bought the UCS Falcon, I bought the Super Star Destroyer, I bought, what else did I buy? I bought the Tantive. I bought, I'm actually curious to figure out what the hell I bought. Bought like the droid. I bought the Jameson Starfighter from 03, the 04 Mos Eisley Cantina, the 2011 Pod Racers, the 2011 Hoth Echo Base, 2006 Star Wars. I kind of like more nuts buying old sets than I did army building. So that's why that video didn't get made this year, because I spent money in other places on other things. And, you know, there's some non-Lego, non-YouTube related things I have been putting money into. Yeah. I've been coming and going, but this live stream will be over an hour. Alright, I'm back. But mostly focusing on this stuff that I have here at the end of the bed, because there's like a gap between the bed and the wall, and I kind of do storage here, or I store things in there. Just like stuff I'm not using like a vast majority of the time. But I will make sure we do some more Lego stuff throughout the stream. But, you know, I like streaming and engaging in the conversations. So that's why I'm still streaming, despite not doing the thing that, you know, the Lego part of it. Like, some of my best streams that I have done is me actually playing video games while the camera's on me and just discussing Lego. Like, believe it or not, those are some of my most successful streams I have done. Like the best any of these streams has ever done is like over 300 views, which I get. Some of my viewers are in different territories or in around the world, different countries, places, time zones. So It was a guy that I'm aware of because he contacted me through the Instagram account that I have. And was basically saying to me, yeah, I watch yours, because he's in Australia, different time zone. He watches my content after work and stuff. It's like, I'm aware that he goes back and watches the live streams, which I know a few people do. Which is kind of cool, the fact that someone takes time out their day to watch these even after they've premiered, which is, I think that's kind of cool. There's an Irish guy that basically watches my content as well. A UCS set that I'm after is one of the original ones from like the first lineup of UCS sets, but those sets can be hard to find online for sale. It's just an unfortunate side effect of how old they are. They do pop up occasionally, it's just unfortunately when I'm broke or I'm investing money in something else. In short, they like to show up when they know I can't afford them. It's a spiteful action. Brought to you by Wampa. Right, what else have we got down here that needs dealing with? But yeah, just bear with me. I just really need to get some of this stuff dealt with. I've been meaning to do this for weeks, but I've just not been able to find the free time to get it done. So I'm here, I'm streaming, means I'm making content and I'm getting things done. Works for me. But yeah, give me like 5 to 10 minutes and we'll get back to what we would normally be doing. Where's my torch just to make sure no more nonsense has rolled down there, and we've got it all sorted out. Well, that solves the mystery of where the hell did my power bank go. It's not reachable, but I now know where it is. Can't tell if I consider that useful or not. Oh well. I found the webcam as well for when we were filming the live streams on TikTok. TikTok paid for that. I consider that one of my biggest achievements as a streamer, the fact that my streaming paid for some stuff. Granted, you have to stream for quite a bit, and I found a bank that I have that's got money in it that I was unaware of its existence. Guess I will put the legal tender in the box. So yeah, apparently I had cash sitting around. I didn't realise I had. I mean, that is a big bonus. Right, 1 second while I can pack that back down into where I keep it, so it will all be sorted. because it ends up being flush with the bed. It's like a small gap that works out really well for storage. From one of the HDMI switchers I was using before I went out and bought the old TV with all the switches within it. That's good. Right. Okay then. So just need to sort this back into place, and we're golden. That worked out just as I wanted it to. So there's a big blanket here that needs dealing with. Perfect. I'm actually so happy. I've been able to do that for such a long while. Right. Get those there. But seeing as I'm starting work a bit later in the day the rest of the week, unless they decide to give me extra hours, which may or may not happen, I could probably fit in a live stream starting at like, what, 11 till 12? Like an hour here and there? That is contingent on me coming home from work when I get home at 11 and not just sitting up to like 3 or 4 playing video games, which that is a frequent thing that I end up doing. Oh yeah, it has been a while. How you doing? Yeah, I'm great. Just doing an organizational stream. I'm prepping for a big video I'm planning to have out on here. Got to have the place looking absolutely perfect. It's what most of the oh, nice. Just button this up. But yeah, the room tour is what I've been prepping for because I want the place to be absolutely perfect for it. And with how much work and busyness I've had lately, I've not had it looking as nice as I would have liked. So we're finally getting around to that. There we go. Right. So yeah, this is probably the longest live you'll get for a while, just given work. I am trying to fit in like an hour of streaming a day while we prep and do all this stuff, but as you may understand, it can occasionally be difficult to get that hour in when I'm as busy as I can be. Right, I'm gonna hang this up, and that's that bit done. I'll have to hoover in here again at some point. That's what we've got to deal with and throw out. I try to. It doesn't always work out necessarily. Busyness, like life, can get in the way, but I try to do them daily. But again, things can occasionally get in the way of that happening. So it's like 50-50 at this point. Last few days, I've been able to get multiple streams out a day, but that's been a rarity for a while. Now, what else am I going to do in this stream? More importantly, we're nearly an hour in, so it's about nearly 10 o'clock. It's about to click over to 10. Right. I'm thinking, tell you what, right? We will do the smaller bag of minifigures before we end off. So I've got these 2 bags of minifigures that come off the shelf. We'll do this smaller bag in this stream. We'll get these guys back on the shelf. So we've got ones like I'm gonna have to read that one. From favorite Lego brick is the grey 2x4, just because of the way that people used to use them in the late 2000s for building clone bases. My favorite set changes frequently. My favorite minifigure is the 2008 Captain Rex. The channel has taken a lot from that. Let's put it that way. Let's see, Empire Strikes Back. It will require me to have the bounty hunters near the front. We'll put 4 of them there. We got, well, we're talking about Obi-Wan's earlier in the stream. We got his 2012 Revenge of the Sith variant. We got another cool bounty hunter from the Empire Strikes Back. This must be a valuable figure now. Zuckuss. I don't know, I've got a feeling he was only ever in one set 7 years ago. But we've got the Yoda that will go with the Yoda. So I think this bag might have, when we took all the figures off, may just contain the vast majority of the Empire Strikes Back stuff. Got old Obi-Wan from 2004. He will go in the land speeder, but Luke will also go in. That's Luke on his bike from Endor, so put the lightsaber back in his hand. But yeah, that's probably the best answer I can give you on that one. That is the droid that fixes up Anakin in Revenge of the Sith, so I will have to stick that to the set he comes in. But there we go. We're having a productive stream. We've got a Shock Trooper from 2007. Put him there. We got Saesee Tiin from Revenge of the Sith. So he can go in Palpatine's office. Of course, he'll go in that scene. We got pretty cool on 2012. I started it about an hour ago. 2012 Palpatine from his office. Got a Kashyyyk Contribor from that around that time. And yes, I did just fart while on stream. Got Mace Windu from there. So, you know, the shelves are starting to look. I have to go around here at the gap to see that correctly. Right. We got a Bib Fortuna, so we can throw him up in Jabba's palace. It's warm, but my hat's on because my hair's an absolute mess from being in work all day. Gonna have a nice shower after this. This Imperial Officer will put him in Cloud City, just so that there's one in there. This Luke Skywalker from 2010 will go on his land speeder. What else we got here? None of these guys. At one point, I badly wanted to army build these. I got as far as buying 2 and then going, now I'll buy some other clones instead. Cloud City Leia from 03. Anakin from Revenge of the Sith, so I'll put him on top of that droid he uses to float along the lava river. See, that looks good. Perfect. Got a Bespin guard, he'll just go in Cloud City. Got a random astromech that can be like in the, I sometimes recreate the droid torture room next to the Vencore pit. Scotland, you're bang on. Who is it here? We've got another Yoda. Oh man, that might mean the Count Dooku's in this bag as well. Is he? He is. Right, so that's the Yoda from 2002. I already knew that anyway, but yeah. What else we got? We got a Vader, so that'll be the one from that I keep in Cloud City. Have the hand up from when like Han tries to shoot at him. Agent Collar from Revenge of the Sith. What else we got? A Chewbacca. He did that scene on Cloud City. I'll just throw him there. We've got Ula from Return of the Jedi. Got one of the random guys from inside Jabba's palace. He's from that 2024 UCS sail barge, which I do have, but it's one of those sets that when we were doing some rearranging, the set just completely fell apart because it's not a very good set. I don't follow sports, so I had no idea if we'd won or not. I'm surprised I've not heard from someone yet about it. I have co-workers that follow it very closely. I'm surprised I've not had to put with them yelling about it. Or maybe I've just successfully drowned it out. We've got Kit Fisto from 2012. Got a Tauntaun here, so that can go with all Hoth stuff. There we go. What else we got? We got an R2-D2 here, so he will just go. Well, I've had that one there for now. So I have many R2-D2s. Like, see if you collect Lego Star Wars for a long time, you'll end up with loads of them. He's in that. It's crazy how many sets they actually put R2 in, but it's also not that surprising. Here's a cool figure that no one talks about that you can buy on the cheap. My fingernails are quite bad right now. I do apologize. EV-99 from 2003. So basically, it's a torture droid from Jabba's palace, but it's a minifigure you can buy for like really cheap. It's from the original 2003 Jabba's palace. Like, obviously, they had to use an upside-down minifigure head to achieve her face, but it's one of the cool figures you can pick up for cheap if you're looking for just like Jabba's palace type stuff. What else we got in this bag? Cloud City Luke Skywalker. Of course, I'll have him fighting Vader and having that scene set up. Well, again, this is one of these minifigures from that sail barge. I personally don't have them in the sail barge since the set decided to crumble, but they're ideal minifigures. See, just for populating Jabba's palace. Or if you have one of the other sail barges, like I've got one from 2006 back there. Iconic minifigure here, the Cloud City Boba. Of course, he goes on Cloud City. Leia from the Battle of Endor. I'm going to put her on it. I've got two of these Endor Leias just from collecting over the years. Surprisingly useful to have two of those. Because you can have what? Because she wears that outfit during the Endor, sort of the Home One briefing scene. So if you've got that, you can have her in both scenes. It's quite good. We've got a clone trooper from the trainee clones. He's just going to go there. From that May the 4th thing from last year. I can't even remember what May the 4th thing we got this year, to be fair. If anyone remembers, let me know. Right, can I have a free PO over there because he was in that scene? Oh god. Right, I've got to fix that now. Got Jake Rains from Lego Pharaoh's Quest. I'm going to throw him in his car because I have that on the other shelf. But once we've done this bag, I'm going to call it a stream. Just because of other stuff I got to do tonight, which is a shame, but we have made a lot of progress in some areas that aren't shelving, so I'm happy. Right, this is the 20th anniversary Han Solo, but I'll still put him over there. And this is the Vader transformation Vader. We've got Max Rebo, so of course he has to go in Jabba's palace. Got Obi-Wan from 2010. He can go in that land speeder too. Got my sitting down version of Han. It's like what I was talking about there with the Endor Leia. Because because of the whole multiple sets thing, it works out really well. Got another one of the guys for Jabba's palace that I apparently will drop. That's smart. Got Dengar. Now, Dengar, he's not going in the palace. He's going next to Cloud City. So any of the bounty hunters that you see on the bridge of the Executor Star Destroyer, I always keep those guys next to each other, even if they're not next to the Star Destroyer. Now, granted, in that set, there was no Boba Fett or 4-LOM or Zuckuss, because 4-LOM and Zuckuss didn't exist yet in a Lego form, but I do like to keep those guys next to each other. I've got Han and Carbonite next to the other ones. This is Anakin from when he's on his way to save Palpatine. go. We're nearly done what we've got here, unfortunately, for the stream, but I've had fun doing this. Trying to get myself looking decent, and we cannot put Leia next to Chewbacca because she'll be in another bag. Got the Han that's in Cloud City as well as the minifig pack. So that's actually one of the cheapest figures from Cloud City to buy. That isn't Vader, but weirdly enough, they used a Return of the Jedi style Han Solo in that set. If you're wondering what the hell I'm on about, it's this. So in 2000, I suppose I should move him forward a stud. In 2000, he was in this minifig pack, and in 2003, he appears in this. That's what I'm on about. And of course, it is his Return of the Jedi variant. So we did not get a Han Solo in his outfit he wears in this scene until 2010. Random Lego fact. Right, we've got battle damaged Anakin from the transformation scene. As like the Leia, I also have a second one of those, but I display both of them because sometimes I have the Vader's transformation set up so that Vader's the minifigure you can see. Since that set does that whole rotate thing. Right, with the Revenge of the Sith, Aayla Secura, she'll just go there. Any more episode 3 stuff? The rest of this is OT stuff. Perfect. We got the 2012 Salacious B. Crumb, so that's when he had eye pupils like he's supposed to. Excuse me. We got another Luke Skywalker from that era. You'll just go there. I've got quite a Luke Skywalker, like we were discussing earlier. Obi-Wan Kenobi is one of those characters oh, it was in the bag. That piece we were on about at the start of the stream. Yes. Oh, good. That saves me a lot of anger. You know, as to wondering what I've done with it. I do want to review that set eventually on here. Right, we have a green lightsaber for a reason I'm not entirely sure of, because there's no figures in this bag that's meant to have one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that green lightsaber there on Cloud City, because none of these figures here are meant to have one. And we've got Rizal Stance. She's that girl that comes in the Book of Boba Fett Palace. I did not buy that set, because I've got the one from the Jawas Palace from 2012. But I bought her because I thought she would fit in nicely, because she is in Return of the Jedi, so it just makes sense. There's quite a few cool minifigures they've released in other sets that work brilliantly in that scene. Because, you know, they were there. But, yeah, this is what we're closing out with. So up here, I didn't add any figures. We've got plenty of the Jabba's Palace stuff going on. A few Endor figures. Got that in there, Han's in there. So some cool scenes here. I know that is the landing pad for Cloud City, but in my mind it made sense to have the crashed X-Wing there. I could have used the one from 06, which is a very similar design, and that did come with Empire figures, but that just made sense. Didn't really add anything to the Hoth apart from that Rebel Trooper, but we sure as hell added a good few figures here and there. But yeah, we did some stuff. We got all that stuff organized as well. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. I don't know what time, but I am determined to continue doing these daily. So we got through a bag. We'll be doing this one tomorrow. Like, that's a guarantee. There's plenty of good figures within this bag here. You know, got the Wampa in there. You got another Max Rebo. Plenty of Clone Troopers. Snow Chewbacca. Who else we got in here? Anakin from 1999. A Shock Trooper. Cadu. There's some cool figures in there. But we'll be doing that tomorrow. So I will see you guys then. Thank you very much for watching.